Hello, I'm Abby, and this is Jeannie. Today, we're going to talk about the Supreme Court's ruling in the case Uzuegbunam versus Preczewski. In an 8-1 ruling, the Supreme Court ruled that a student could sue a school for nominal damages even after the school changed its conduct. Wait a sec, Abby. What are nominal damages? They're amounts of typically $1 or $2 awarded when the plaintiff is in the right but hasn't suffered a measurable loss. So, if someone violated your freedom of speech, then you might seek nominal damages. Right. Now, if you could quantify damage, you could seek what are called compensatory damages. For example, if you were in a car accident, you could calculate the damage done to your car. If fixing a damaged bumper cost $300, you could then seek $300 in compensation. And we would seek nominal damages for a violation of speech because, well, how can you quantify unspoken words? Right. Now back to this case. It began in 2016 with Uzuegbunam, a student at Georgia Gwinnett College. College officials blocked Uzuegbunam from distributing religious literature and sharing his faith on campus, even after he reserved a spot in one of the college's 2 free speech zones. When the officials threatened Uzuegbunam with disciplinary action, his friend Joseph Bradford also abandoned his plans to speak. Uh-oh, that looks like a violation of a right. What happened next? Uzuegbunam and Bradford sued the college for nominal damages and injunctive relief, which would have called for the college to stop its actions. They argued the college violated their First and 14th Amendment rights, violating their speech and religious rights. However, during the lawsuit, the college revised its speech code and then filed to dismiss the case as moot, which means settled. So now we get to the key issue. Could Uzuegbunam and Bradford sue for nominal damages because their rights were violated even after the college fixed its policies? Let's see what the students argued. Their lawyer, Kristen Wagner, argued that even though the college fixed its speech code, it still needs to be held accountable for violating Uzuegbunam and Bradford's rights. She said that nominal damages have a special purpose for, quote, injuries that transcend price tags, like a violation of speech, or an unwarranted search or seizure. Okay, what did the college argue? They argue that nominal damages claims encourage unnecessary lawsuits. When there is no threat of future harm, only cases that seek compensation, like compensatory damages, should be allowed to continue through courts. The college said the student's lawsuit prompted the college to change its speech code, and the issue should have been resolved there. Interesting. Now we fast forward 2 months to the court's decision. In his majority opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas held that nominal damages can redress past injuries. Therefore, the students could sue the college even after it fixed its speech code. To decide whether the students could sue, the justices determined whether they had standing. That's right. For someone to have standing, the right to sue, they have to satisfy 3 requirements. First, they must demonstrate that they suffered or are likely to suffer a concrete injury. Second, the injury has to be traceable to the defendant. Third, the issue must be likely to be resolved by the court. Uzuegbunam clearly suffered a concrete injury through a violation of speech, and his injury is traceable to the college's actions. This left the 3rd prong of standing. The court drew on precedent to decide the case did meet the 3rd requirement of standing. They looked at past courts which awarded nominal damages even when they couldn't award other damages like compensatory or punitive damages. They did this even when there was no threat of future injury, like in Uzuegbunam's case. Courts did this both before and after the ratification of the Constitution. Because judges apply the Constitution to make decisions, it's helpful to understand what courts were doing when it was ratified. Justice Thomas also cited the 19th century Justice Joseph Story. Justice Story argued nominal damages should be paid even if parties couldn't prove a certain type of damage. According to Justice Story, as long as you can prove the other party violated your rights, then you need to be compensated. As he put it, the law requires no further inquiry than whether there has been the violation of a right. 7 other justices sided with Justice Thomas, and Justice Kavanaugh also wrote a concurring opinion. He noted that by paying nominal damages, defendants should be able to end lawsuits without a resolution of the merits. This could prevent prolonged lawsuits. 7 other justices sided with Justice Thomas, but there are 9 justices who dissented. Now, this was a bit of a surprise. The lone dissenter was Chief Justice John Roberts. What makes this even more interesting was that this was his first lone dissent since joining the court in 2005. Wow. But let's get into why he dissented. Under Roberts' view, the court's decision marked an overstep of judicial authority and would require courts to give advisory opinions, non-legal interpretations of the law, quote, whenever a plaintiff tacks on a request for $1. In other words, by awarding nominal damages, courts are simply saying the people suing are right, but they're not resolving any legal issue. Roberts also questioned whether the historical precedent cited by the majority is relevant to this case, noting differences in court systems at the time. It's notable that groups across the political spectrum, with and without religious affiliation, celebrated this decision. The court's decision will likely impact future constitutional rights cases and lead colleges and other government institutions to review their policies. But will Roberts' prediction come true? Only time will tell. Well, that's a summary of the court's ruling in Uzuegbunam versus Preczewski. Hope you enjoyed watching.